Hi everybody, welcome back to Family Recipes with Amanda. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make yogurt in your Instant Pot. Now, if you're like me, that sounds like a really scary and intimidating thing to say. Um, it turns out it's really easy and it's super tasty, and where I live, it's really hard for me to get to the store and get plain yogurt, Greek style. So this way I can make it at home with just a few ingredients. So I'm going to show you how to work that today, and we're going to start with a description of my Instant Pot.
Hi, so this is my Instant Pot, and I have to say I really was not super excited about having or getting an Instant Pot. It wasn't something I asked for, but I did get it as a Christmas gift one year from my husband, and I'm totally a convert. It's great for busy school days, and it's basically replaced my slow cooker, but if I've forgotten to defrost the meat, it makes it really easy to cook with and all that good stuff. But it does a lot of things, and one of the things it does is it makes yogurt, and I was super intimidated to try this, but this little break gave me an opportunity to do that, and I'm going to show you how it works. So basically, you just turn it on when you plug it in, and I just push the yogurt button down there, and you can see it says 8 hours, which we don't want. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to boil the milk. So you just keep hitting the button until it says boil, okay? And then it'll stop flashing when it's ready. And then we're going to pour in a half a gallon of milk, okay? So I have just a 2-cup measure today because all my other stuff is dirty. That's all right. So we've got to figure out, how do I get a half a gallon from 2 cups? So basically there are 4 cups in a quart, and there are 4 quarts in a gallon. So that means there are there are 8 cups in a half gallon. All right, so that's 1 quart. That's 4 cups, 1 quart right there. And today I am using 1% milk. You could use whole milk if you prefer. You could use skim milk. You could use 2%. It really just kind of depends on what the fat content you want for your yogurt. And right now it depends on what kind of milk is in your store. All right, so I have 8 cups of milk in there, or half a gallon. And I really probably should have done this before. And I just put the lid on, and there we go. Okay, there. Now it's sealed in. Now this is not pressure cooking right now. It's just boiling. It's just heating from the bottom. And that's it. We just wait. It takes about a half an hour, and then I'll give you the next step after that.
So once my milk has come up to a boil, what I'm going to do then is I'm going to add in the yogurt starter. So I'm going to show you my 2 kinds of yogurt that I have here. So this is the last batch of yogurt that I made right here. It's almost out, as you can see, which is why I'm making more today. And this is the original yogurt that I use. It is plain Greek yogurt from Kirkland, from Costco, and it is non-fat. Now, originally I started making this because I wanted to get like plain whole fat yogurt, but you can use any kind of yogurt, as long as it's plain. It can't be flavored, it can't have extra sugars in it, or any other additives. That's really the only requirements.
Okay, so you're just going to take 3 tablespoons of yogurt for every half gallon of milk, because that's what we put in. So I'm gonna use my starter from the last yogurt I made. This is a great way to keep it going, right? So you're just using the active cultures that are in the yogurt that you made, and then we will temper them in with the milk. And again, like, this is not an exact measurement, because I don't seem to find that it's terribly important that you have an exact measurement. So there's my 3 tablespoons of yogurt in there, and that's it. And now we just wait for the milk to boil, and I will show you how to temper that in. Okay, so my Instant Pot just beeped and tells me that my yogurt is ready. So now we're going to open it up and chill it down. Let me just, all right, so it kind of shut off on me, but you can see it says yogurt on there. So I open it up and it says yogurt, and You want to try not to get too much water in there if you can. You know, sometimes that condensation comes up off the top. So I'm gonna now, I have to chill this down. And so I'm gonna take this out of here and I'm gonna put it in my sink, which is full of ice water.
So while my my boiled milk is chilling in the ice water, what I'm waiting for is it comes up to about 180 degrees. So I'm waiting for it to get down to 116 degrees. So what I've got here is I've got my digital thermometer, which I bought on Amazon, I don't know, a few months ago. And so probably take maybe 5 to 10 minutes for that milk to cool down. And when it does, I want it between 110 and 116 degrees. And that's when we're going to temper in the yogurt starter. So we're just going to let it sit for like 5 minutes and then I'll check back in with you.
Okay, so my milk is cooled down to just about 110 degrees. I just stick my thermometer in there. If you do get it too cool, right, if you left it too long in the water, it's not a big deal. So this is actually cooled off just a little too much. It's 107. You can just stick it back on the in your Instant Pot and put it on saute for like a minute to warm up. So I'm going to do that right now. Saute. And I'm just going to let that cook a little bit, but while I wait, I'm going to temper in the milk with the yogurt. Let me just grab I have my ladle here, and I'm just going to ladle, you know, 1 or 2 ladles full into the yogurt. And the reason we do this is we do not want to put like boiling milk into the yogurt because that will kill any cultures, all the live cultures that are in the yogurt. So you want to take your like lukewarm milk and you want to whisk it in, and so it makes like a thick paste. You do this with egg yolks too when you're cooking, so you don't scramble eggs when you're making like pudding or custard. It's called tempering. You take a little bit of the warm liquid so it brings everything to like a similar temperature. Mix it together and then we'll add it back in. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep checking my temperature of my milk here. Yeah, see, it's already up to like 113. It doesn't take but a minute. So I'm gonna put it back on the yogurt setting. So cancel, and then go back to yogurt. And I'm just gonna whisk my yogurt in here. Just mix that in. You don't really wanna scrape the bottom of your pan because, like, you know how when you cook milk, it gets that film on the bottom of the pot. So we don't want to mix that in. That's no good. So we're going to close this up. And really this is it for the day. I'm going to hit that yogurt button again until it shows me a temperature, which is being finicky right now. There we go. And I want it to cook for up to 8 hours. And so the thing about the yogurt setting is that it counts up instead of down.
Okay, so my yogurt is in the pot, it's on the yogurt setting, and it's counting up to 8 hours. I say up to 8 hours because that's what the recipe that I found said, but in my opinion, I've never had it go past 4 hours. So you let it just sit in the Instant Pot for 4 hours, it's cultivating, and you check it, and then when we get to that mark, I'll open up the pot and I'll show you how it works, so what it should look like when it's ready to go. All right, we'll see you back in 4 hours.
Okay, so we're back, and it's been about 3 hours and 38 minutes according to my Instant Pot right here. And I'm going to show you what the yogurt needs to look like when it's done, because I've already checked it and it's done. So I'm going to move the camera down here for you. All right, so when you can give the yogurt like a little jiggle and it sort of stays together all in one. See, like that, I can jiggle it and it slides just all together. You do not want to jiggle this very hard. You don't want it to mix together. But when it's one solid sort of mass that sort of jiggles together, then it's done. All right. And so, and like I told you, it says up to 8 hours, but so far I have not gotten over 4 hours till mine is done. So basically that's it for today. All we're going to do is let it sort of come down to room temperature. It's just slightly warm right now. And so I'm going to let it come down to room temperature, and then I'm going to I'm going to put it in the refrigerator overnight so it's chilled. You don't want to put hot things or warm things in the refrigerator, because then that like brings up the temperature of your whole refrigerator, and that makes your refrigerator too warm, and it can cause food to spoil in there. So let it come up to temperature, and then I will put it in the refrigerator, and then tomorrow I'll show you how to strain it so you can have Greek yogurt, and I'll show you the beautiful way that comes out of your yogurt. Okay, until tomorrow. See you.
Hi everybody, welcome to day 2 of yogurt. Yesterday we took our milk, a half gallon of milk, we put it in the Instant Pot to boil, brought it up to 180 degrees, and then we set that milk aside to cool down, and we took 3 tablespoons of yogurt and we tempered that in with the cooled down milk, and then we added the mixture back into the pot and set it back on the Instant Pot for about 3.5 hours until it came out in a sort of solid gelatinous substance. So, and then we let that whole thing cool down in the refrigerator overnight, and now we're ready to strain it. Now the reason I like to strain my yogurt is because I like a thicker, creamier Greek style or European style yogurt. Some people like a looser style yogurt. They like it a little thinner. That's totally up to you, your preference. But today what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to strain the yogurt, and then at the end I'll talk to you a little bit about what you can do with the whey that will be left over after you've strained your yogurt. Now this is kind of a two-man job here because I need somebody to hold my bag and somebody to pour the yogurt. So I'm going to bring my son Alex in here in just a minute, and we're going to put it through the sieve, and then that'll be that. Okay, so what do you use to strain your yogurt? Well, there's a couple of different parts that you need. You need cheesecloth or something like it to strain the yogurt through. So this is a nut milk bag that I found on the internet. I chose a bag because I thought it would be easier to pour the yogurt into and then strain the whey out of it, but you can just use sheets of cheesecloth over a sieve. So this is a nut milk bag. There's 2, and it is food safe. It says you can use it for brewing coffee or straining yogurt or making wine or any kind of thing like that. And it is washable, which I like too. And then I have a bowl, and I have my handy dandy strainer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour the yogurt into the bag. I'm going to set the bag in the strainer over the bowl, and then I'm going to put the whole thing back in the refrigerator for a couple of hours until it's kind of all done dripping. Okay.
Okay, so this is my son Alex. He's going to hold the bag over the strainer for me because I don't have 4 hands. I'm going to get the strings out of there. And just kind of hold the bag open, and it's going to slide right in. Kind of fun. Shake it all in there. Pretty good. All right. Okay, so that is what it looks like in my bag, and you can already start to see some of the liquid is seeping out of the bag. Can you see it dripping there? All right, so I've got my strainer kind of propped up with its handle over the bowl, and I'm going to just nestle my bag in there, and I'm going to take my strings and pull them as tight as I can, and then I'm going to get a wooden handled spoon, and I'm going to sort of I'm going to wind it around to make it a tight seal. All right, so this is not really scientific, it's just what works for me. So I'm just winding that around there, and then twist so that it sort of stays in place. I'm just winding it as best I can. See, it's already not really working very well here. Okay, and I'm going to try to get all my angles tucked into my bowl. And that's it. The longer it strains, the mass of the yogurt will condense, and I'll be able to fit it into my bowl better. But that's it. That's the whole process for now. And then later I'll show you how to unbag the yogurt, which is kind of the tricky part, and then what to do with the whey. So I've got all my yogurt scraped out of the bag, and it's into my pot, and so I'm just going to give it a little kind of whisk around here. I'm just going to stir it up so that it's all homogeneous. It's all one consistency. And put the lid on it and put it away. Now, I did tell you that the bags are rewashable, reusable. Your cheesecloth would be too. So what I do is I just take the cheesecloth and I soak it in warm water with vinegar, and then after about 15-20 minutes, then I'll add in some baking soda and rinse it really thoroughly, and let it air dry. And then that's the best way I found to clean those bags and keep them fresh for the next time. All right, that's the whole shebang of how to make yogurt in your Instant Pot. I hope you enjoy. Subscribe, give us a comment, give us a like. I really hope to get this show on the road. All right, take care, have a great day. See you next time. All right, we're ready for the final step of yogurt, and that is we're going to unbag the yogurt and we're going to store the whey in the refrigerator for a future use. Just a quick word about the whey. So the whey is the liquid that's left over after you've strained out the yogurt. This is a little bit that's left over from my last batch. And I explained in my earlier video that it's basically similar to sour milk or buttermilk. You can swap it into recipes for bread or pancakes or biscuits or what have you, about half and half with the milk. And you can swap it out for buttermilk. You can also use it to cook beans or rice and make those a little bit more tender, a little more easily digestible. So I've been playing with whey quite a bit the last couple of weeks. So on that note, we're going to get right into draining the whey out of here and then unbagging the yogurt. So here I have my bowl full of, here I have my bowl, which is attached to my sieve, which has been draining out the whey right here. So I'm just going to kind of set that aside for a second. And I have quite a lot of whey in here. I've never actually measured it, but my bowl actually has markings on it. So right now there's about 12 ounces in here. So I'm going to just pour that out into a storage container and it'll just live in my fridge until I'm ready to be done with it. And so now we're up to almost 36 ounces. So it's about 24 ounces or 3 cups of whey that came out of our yogurt. All right, so that's sealed and ready to go. And now I'm going to unbag the yogurt. Okay, so this is where it gets a little complicated and where I think cheesecloth would be better than the bag, because it's a little bit hard to invert this whole bag and get it into my bowl over here. But like I said, I do really like the bag for, the way it kind of contains everything. And so anyways, so I've loosened the strings. I unwound it away from my wooden spoon, and I'm just kind of gathering up my bag so that I can invert it here. All right, so I'm unwinding my bag. I'm sort of gathering it up in my hands as best I can. It gets a little bit messy, and then I'm just gonna kind of turn the whole thing inside out here and let it dangle. It's kind of messy looking process. Nothing elegant about it, there's no question. And then I'm just going to take my spatula and slowly, gently scrape down the bag into my Tupperware. And then just trying to get into all the nooks and crannies and crevices and get as much of the yogurt out of there as I can. And, it's not perfect. I really haven't got a good solution for how to get it all out neatly. I can tell you that, you kind of know when you've gotten it all, because the weight of the bag gets significantly lighter without all that heavy yogurt in there. So just kind of opening it up and keep working on it until I get it all out. So I've got all my yogurt scraped out of the bag and it's into my pot. And so I'm just going to give it a little kind of whisk around here. I'm just going to stir it up so that it's all homogeneous. It's all one consistency. And put the lid on it and put it away. I did tell you that the bags are rewashable, reusable. Your cheesecloth would be too. So what I do is I just take the cheesecloth and I soak it in warm water with vinegar, and then after about 15-20 minutes, then I'll add in some baking soda and rinse it really thoroughly, and let it air dry. And then that's the best way I found to clean those bags and keep them fresh for the next time. All right, that's the whole shebang of how to make yogurt in your Instant Pot. I hope you enjoy. Subscribe, give us a comment, give us a like. I really hope to get this show on the road. All right, take care. Have a great day. See you next time.